Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show on the early side of things, 4 p.m. here on the East Coast, and we are here with all of those on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. This is a show for all of you that watch over on these platforms. We're going to be live with you for at least a half hour before we open it up to the TikTok audience, maybe even go longer. Want to give you guys on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick the opportunity to ask your questions, whether it's sports betting, fantasy football, anything and everything. That's what we're doing here at Butt Fumble Sports. We will talk about Thursday Night Football. We will talk about the injuries that came out of it, the repercussions for all the teams involved, not just the two that played last night. We will obviously get into the NBA and NHL schedule tonight. We're going to give out some picks. We'll probably do that when the TikTok audience joins us, but we will be giving out picks throughout the show. And of course, we're going to get to all of the questions out there, as many as we possibly can. So throw them in the comments section, whether it's you want to rant, whether you want fantasy advice, or whether you want some sports betting research done up on the screen. So wonderful to have all of you with us every single day. Butt Fumble Sports is a sports content company created by a sports fan for you real sports fans at home that just want to hear good conversation, be able to engage with the on-air talent on the other side of the screen, and just get as much of your fantasy, sports betting, or just your sports intake as possible. We love this audience. We're so grateful you join us. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing, no matter the platform, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Every time you hit the like button on our video, it lets the platforms know that this is some good content others should know about. Share Butt Fumble Sports with others. Be a mensch. Let others know there's great sports content out there every single day. With that said, feel free to fire in your questions. Max Hewitt, great to see you. Majomes, great to see you. No matter the platform, again, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, here for all of you guys. Kicking us off, Majomes asks, thank the Lord I didn't trade for Higgins yesterday. Ain't that the truth? I'll open this show up just by talking about Thursday Night Football. I was going to do a subscriber-only show last night on TikTok, and that Thursday Night Football game took the soul right out of me. It took all the joy out of me. I was on cloud nine yesterday. I was so enjoying the idea of a Thursday Night Football game that wasn't just relevant, didn't just have two good teams, but had like a playoff caliber atmosphere. Leading up to the game, we knew the division standings were certainly on the line. Maybe AFC standings were on the line, but certainly if nothing else, some star talent. I feel like the Thursday, the primetime games, sometimes there's just a lack of star talent. After Aaron Rodgers went out, we certainly suffered that early in the year. Just some of those issues. So anyways, I was so pumped for last night. And the moment Mark Andrews went down, first of all, every parlay that included Mark Andrews went up in smoke, including mine. But more importantly, it felt like the air came out of the balloon. And over the course of the next 3 hours, 3.5 hours, that balloon of enthusiasm just dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. It was an ugly game. I put out a rant about it last night. I thought it was a terrible product by the NFL. First of all, the injuries, there's something there. Now, I say that in two different ways. I'll start with the obvious. Joe Burrow out for the season. He has an issue with his wrist. Devastating, awful. He said, we saw the mouth, the lip reading. I heard something pop. That's what he said. When that's about your wrist, holy crap, that's a serious injury. Devastating. I feel terrible for Cincinnati Bengal fans. I feel terrible for Joe Burrow. I feel terrible for that entire organization. He is that franchise, and this is a serious injury. Out for the year. Who knows what comes after that, but I feel terrible for Joe Burrow. That's one side of it, and that's an important side. Yes, there's the mystery. Did he know something was wrong with his wrist? Did the Bengals not disclose something? Is the NFL liable for a lot of the losing gambling tickets related, or the Cincinnati Bengals liable for a lot of the losing gambling tickets related to Joe Burrow or the Bengals last night? Very suspicious there. Once you get in bed with sports betting, you got to see it all the way through. So NFL's got to figure that investigation out pretty fast. But that's one side of this coin. The other side of this coin, and I'll be the one to say it, what's up with Logan Wilson? Why is Logan Wilson injuring every star player on the Baltimore Ravens? Look, if you want to say that one of those plays wasn't intended to be malicious, that's cool. But he tried to, and almost, he did, injure at one point in that game, Mark Andrews, star player. Lamar Jackson, star player. Odell Beckham Jr., star player. I obviously credit Logan Wilson with being a great football player, a good tackler. He's aggressive. He's running all over the field. But can someone please explain to me what the hell was up with that last night? If that had been Vontaze Burfict, the NFL would have suspended him for half a season for those injuries. Logan Wilson, nothing. I'm not going to talk about race. Though Vontaze Burfict and Logan Wilson are not the same race, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the injuries on the field. If I told you that the three biggest names on the offense for the Ravens all got hurt by the same player on the Bengals, you go, damn, that's suspicious as hell. That's suspicious as hell. Look, Mahomes, I think it's a good point. Are they supposed to make a two-hand touch? No. But did you notice how he landed on all three players all three times? He landed with his full weight on them in a vulnerable position. Now, do I think that he's a dirty player? I'm not saying that. I'm saying last night was certainly a suspicious tape in the dirty category. That's all I'm going to say. But going back to my original point, the NFL has a problem right now. The NFL is a real problem. NFL referees suck. And it's not like, oh, that's a bad call. Bad calls happen. We watch Major League Baseball. I see Angel Hernandez make about 10 bad calls once, every inning. That's not what I'm talking about. Last night, there were phantom calls. There were plays where it's like, I don't even know what they're seeing. There are bad calls where it's like, bad angle. Maybe it's holding like on every play. But no, there was just some plays where it's like, I don't know what these referees are doing. I don't understand what the NFL's trying to do. Referees should be full-time employees. They should not be subject to minuscule reviews. It should be a serious full-time profession. And if you don't stack up, you're gone. You're in the minor leagues. You're in the XFL. There needs to be some standard that not just the NFL's aware of, that we're all aware of. I'm aware of how a major league umpire goes from little league to the major leagues. There's a school. There's literally a program. There's a process. You have to climb the ladder. I have no idea how an NFL referee becomes a referee. I have no idea. And to Mahomes' point, this is not just a multi-billion-dollar or a business. Like, the NFL isn't just a multi-billion-dollar business. The NFL is an ecosystem. The NFL produces the highest programming content every year, and it's not close. The NFL is driving more sports betting than anything else, which is driving billions of dollars economically into states all over the country. This isn't just the NFL is a 15 or 20 or 30 or 50 billion dollar company. No, the NFL ecosystem is a multi-billion, if not close to $1 trillion impact on the United States economy. Sounds crazy, but it's not. And when the NFL doesn't hold itself to the standard that a multi-billion dollar, trillion dollar ecosystem should, then bad shit's gonna happen. Bad calls are gonna happen. There's gonna be obviously a questioning of the product. The NFL product last night was awful, and the NFL should be embarrassed. Last night should have been a kickoff to like the home stretch of the NFL season, and instead, what did it feel like? A total wet fart. I hated that game. That game was awful. It took the soul right out of me. I kicked things off by saying all that just to let you guys know my rant on the game. We're going to talk about a lot of the fantasy implications that have to do with Mark Andrews, with Joe Burrow. What does it mean for the two teams? So we're going to dive into all of that over the next 50 minutes, over the next hour and 50 minutes. But I had to get that off my chest because I know a lot of you guys were probably on TikTok yesterday going, when's the subscriber-only show? That game just sucked the life out of me. We got Al Michaels in a tie, and it ended in a game where, frankly, he should have been looking like Bill Belichick with the holes in the sweatshirt, because that was an embarrassing game, and the NFL, I put it on you. Because injuries, referees, and just overall shit product, bad product, that's got to land somewhere. I put it on the NFL. That's going to be my rant to kick things off. Let's get into some of your fantasy questions. Let's start with your boy Alex, who brings up the obvious. Jamar Chase value just went down, 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 down. Now, do I still think that he has some value? We saw him get a touchdown literally on the last drive of that game. By the way, that was the ultimate nut punch for some of us under-bettors. But that said, I think Chase's value is plummeted. This is not like a Justin Jefferson situation, because at least with Justin Jefferson, he was injured during the time. No, this is Jamar Chase's value's taking a rough hit. I don't know how quickly you could trade him, if you could move on from him, or if you just suffer through, but Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, I think Joe Mixon's value is still pretty good, but really, really rough. Daniel Pipko, yep, I have Chase, Burrow, Andrews, and Mixon. Daniel Pipko, I got to pour one out for you later. Daniel Pipko is having the worst day of any fantasy owner I've heard so far. When you have Chase, Burrow, Andrews, and Mixon all on the same team, wow. Trade Swift, Warren, and Olave for Keenan Allen and Ferguson. I'm a little worried about that. Keenan Allen apparently is dealing with a shoulder injury. He should play this week, but I'm a little bit worried about it. I don't think it's the same value as it would have been even a week ago. I like Swift, Warren, and Olave enough. I don't think you're upgrading enough with Ferguson. Like, I'm not big on Ferguson. There are other tight ends you could probably get. Taysom Hill's fine. But with that said, it's close. I don't think I'd do it, though. I like the running backs that you have. Olave, not as valuable as Allen, but I wouldn't do the trade. Kike is guap. I got offered Chase and Trevor Lawrence for Hurts and Olave. Yeah, Kike is guap. That's one to laugh at. That's one you can reject with a little smirk. Flappo 328. Thoughts on Rico Dowd starting this week over Hubbard and Bears running backs? I actually love it. I actually love the idea, Flappo, because not only do I think the Cowboys' run offense is going to perform well against the Panthers, he's shown me some things over the last few weeks. He truly is their RB2, and I don't like Hubbard or the Bears running backs this week. Your boy Alex, all Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow owners are in panic mode, but so are Mark Andrews owners. The loss of Mark Andrews for the season. By the way, Mark Andrews suffered a devastating injury. I don't want it to be lost in the smoke around Joe Burrow. Mark Andrews suffered a devastating injury. That's going to take a long time to recover. That is not just he screwed up his ankle. No, he broke his leg in a very bad spot, given the ligaments and everything else. So let's send out a prayer to Mark Andrews, send out some good vibes to him, because while Joe Burrow and the popping in his wrist is obviously, threat level midnight, Mark Andrews is going to go through some pretty tough physical therapy and recovery, so send him one out for him as well. Max Hewitt, James Conner, or Chuba Hubbard for the running back? Oh, I'd go James Conner. I want nothing to do with Chuba Hubbard going up against that run defense of the Cowboys, in part because I think the Cowboys are going to pin their ears back, and they're just going to be in attack mode, whether the Bryce Young is throwing or whether the Panthers try to run. I think the Cowboys every day... I think the Cowboys are almost treating their season like a college football team. They're treating it like Georgia or Alabama. When they get the opportunity to stomp on an opponent for style points, I think the Cowboys have and will do that. Does that make them a playoff caliber, super team? No, but they're going to use the opportunities to flex themselves a little bit. Expected against the Panthers this week. We Dem Boys, pick 2. We Dem Boys, I'd go Waddle and Tank Dell. We Dem Boys, I'd go Waddle and Tank Dell. The Vikings' run defense is just a little bit better. It's just a little bit better than you'd think, so I just avoid it just a little bit. Hey man, sorry, I just got 10 ads, so I couldn't hear you answer. Mendez, 4545. I'm sorry about the ads, but at the same time, not so much. It means that Twitch and Kick and some of these other platforms are showing us some love. So I appreciate you guys watching the show, even with some of these ads that we have now. But it also means that this audience is growing and that we are building something real. This company's real. So I really appreciate it. Your boy Alex, Mitchell disappointed me as well. What really pissed me off is he should have had the second touchdown. That's what I expected. I expected Gus Edwards to maybe get the first touchdown. I expected Mitchell to get that second touchdown opportunity. That's what killed me last night. And what I was banking on with Mitchell is I was expecting around 40, 50, rushing yards. Didn't get that, fell short. Receiving yards, I was thinking he was going to be around 10, so I was pretty close on that. But I thought he'd find the end zone. The fact that he didn't, no, it was a miss on my part. Sorry I gave out that advice. I just did not expect they would give Gus Edwards the 2 touchdown opportunities. I thought it'd be Mitchell. I'm actually surprised they didn't give that second touchdown. Kind of pads the stats for Edwards. And I'm not talking about from a fantasy standpoint. I just thought for Harbaugh, why don't you give some love to some of your other running backs? So, anyways, Luca, who should I get with Aaron Jones? Ferguson, Ingram, or Schultz? I just lost Andrews for the season. Well, Andrews is more valuable than all of these guys, so I don't love giving up Aaron Jones. I don't love giving up Aaron Jones right now. I'll say that. One thing that I would bring up to you guys who need a tight end, look to the waiver wire. And one of the reasons I say that, we've reached a point in the year where a lot of teams that go on a bye, fantasy owners are like, man, I have this guy on a bye. I don't want to keep him because I don't have enough roster spots. I don't want to give up these running backs. I don't want to give up these wide receivers. So I'll give up my tight end who's on a bye, and I'll pick up somebody else. That's happened in a lot of the leagues that I've been in. Guys, you might want to look to the waiver wire for a tight end because someone may have dropped somebody in the bye week process, and actually that makes them a good pickup. So just a thought on that. Back to Luka for a moment. But if I'm trading Jones, I'd ask for Schultz plus something else. Ingram plus something else. I think Schultz would be 1, Ingram 2 in terms of that group. But I'd ask for the tight end plus something else if I'm giving up Aaron Jones. Max Hewitt, Thielen, or Curtis Samuel. I got to go Curtis Samuel. Adam Thielen just has a brutal matchup against the Cowboys I do not like. Kike Esguap, I'd go Rice. Kike Esguap, love Rashee Rice this week. Definitely the play for me. Max Hewitt, Adam Thielen, or Curtis Samuel? Great question. Answered it a moment ago. Curtis Samuel. Daniel Pipko, only guy I can get on waivers is Likely. That's not a terrible idea. We've seen in past years, past opportunities, Likely stepped up when Andrews has been out. And by the way, the Ravens are too dependent on that tight end set where the tight end is a crucial receiver. So I don't think they're going to change their playbook entirely. You can't lose that option in the seam route. So I think Likely is an interesting option. Just something to be mindful of. By the way, Everett, I'd get Gerald Everett. If you could get Gerald Everett, I love it. Why? Because that passing offense of the Chargers, you know is going to get the tight end involved. And especially with no Mike Williams the rest of the season, Gerald Everett's value has increased over the last couple of weeks. What's good, brother? So, Sammy, hope you're having a great day. Got 2 for you, okay? Kenneth Walker or Warren? Tricky, but I'll go Kenneth Walker. I like Warren a lot, but not a good matchup this week. I'll go Kenneth Walker. Then between Waddle and Puka, I'll lean towards Waddle. So it's going to be Kenneth Walker and Waddle. By the way, it's too bad because I like Warren and Puka, but just not this week. Not the matchups I like. Yo boy Alex, is OBJ value rising? Is he trustable? One player prop bet that we gave out yesterday that did cash was Odell Beckham Jr. over his receiving yards total. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. He has gone over his receiving yards total in every home game with the Ravens this year. Just a thought, something to keep mind of. Does that mean that his value's rising? Yes. Does that mean he's trustable? At home. On the road, his stats aren't the same. My big concern about OBJ is without Mark Andrews, how do safeties start to play him? The safeties are less like... Now, last night we saw that speed's still there, and he can just beat somebody. But defenses that are going to be able to prepare prior to the game with no Mark Andrews on the field, they're going to commit that safety over the top to prevent OBJ from being that home run option. I think the Ravens, they did it last night. They need to continue to do it. Use him on those slant routes. Use him on those crossing routes. Show his speed horizontally so he can get some separation and go up the field. I'm breaking it down a little bit too much, but my point is the value is there, but I really wish Mark Andrews had stayed healthy. I'd be really high on OBJ right now because I love what I'm seeing. He's going to get more targets, but he's also going to get more attention from opposing defenses. So, Sammy, we are so grateful for your support and everybody else. If you guys love the content, just like So Sammy, make sure you subscribe to Butt Fumble Sports on whatever platform you're watching on, and frankly, every platform we're on. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. We're live on all of these platforms every day. Make sure you subscribe, and of course, if you're watching right now on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, hit the like button on the video. Helps those platforms know that this is good content and lets other sports fans know that they should tune in every single day. Kike Esguap, I'm going to go with Musgrave over Conklin. I like Musgrave's matchup against the Chargers pass defense a whole lot more. Do I like Conklin? Yes, he'll probably get 3-4 catches in that game. Good option for Zach Wilson. But Musgrave against that horrible Chargers pass defense, he's got to be the play for me. So Musgrave over Conklin, Kike Esguap. Yo boy Alex, now that Andrew is gone, does that mean Zay Flowers' value goes up? That actually I agree with. I think Zay Flowers' value does go up Again, similar issue, more defensive attention on him, but I actually think it negatively impacts OBJ more, again, because the safety help. Zay Flowers is just a tough cover. He is just unbelievable speed in tight spaces. He could lose you in a phone booth. You saw that route he ran last night, that zig route, looked like he's going outside, then he cuts across the field. I'm big on Zay Flowers. I actually think this means they're going to over-target him a little bit. I think Zay Flowers could become the number one kind of default option for Lamar Jackson. Again, I don't necessarily know if that means greater yardage. I definitely think it means more receptions. Am I going to bet Zay Flowers over receptions total probably every game this year? Most likely. Majomes, Isaiah Likely is no scrub. I agree with you. I think he's a pretty good player. The only issue I have with him is he is a bit of a clunky route runner at times. He isn't as smooth. I actually like him as a blocker a little bit more than Andrews at times. But that said, his route running is just, it's a little choppy. It's a little choppy where Mark Andrews, you could just see it last night. He just finds his way into open spaces. From his time at Oklahoma, he's always been doing that. So it definitely is a big loss for the Baltimore Ravens. If you guys have a fantasy question, a sports betting question, or you want to rant, let us know what you think. Your boy Alex, opinions on Draymond Green chokehold. First of all, ever since COVID, who hasn't wanted to put Rudy Gobert in a chokehold? From the moment that dude was an asshole and licked and touched every microphone, kind of mocking COVID, and then he was the first NBA player to get COVID. Who hasn't wanted to see that dude get his ass kicked? Or who hasn't wanted to see that guy be in a chokehold? So on that level, I actually kind of enjoyed it. On the other level, Draymond Green was just totally out of line. Draymond Green at times just loses his shit. He just forgets where he is, and he thinks he could be Debo from Friday on a basketball court. No, you can't. Tone it down. I understand why he was getting involved because Draymond Green's the enforcer, but it was a ridiculous act. There's no place for it. I got a kick out of it, but it was a ridiculous move by Draymond. The 5-game suspension is totally justified because the moment it's like in the NFL, there's a flag for pulling people off the pile. The moment you have players acting as an enforcer or acting as the cops who are separate, no, doesn't work. So I'm glad that the NBA came down as strongly as they did. I actually think right now the Warriors are in a bad spot. No one's talking about it right now because there are other teams, the Lakers, who are not looking good. But the Golden State Warriors, they have some problems right now, and they have some contracts on the horizon. I'd be curious to know if this turns into a much more disappointing year for Golden State than a lot of people expected. Majomes, Lamar Jackson more rushing. I think that's very week-to-week team defense based. I don't necessarily think because Mark Andrews goes down, Lamar Jackson will naturally run more. Because again, defenses now have one talented receiver fewer to cover. So more defenses actually can commit to a QB spy or to a zone where, hey, I don't have to worry about Mark Andrews. Now I can commit to preventing Jackson running the ball. So I don't know if it actually means Jackson runs more. I do think it means Mitchell, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill, it's your turn to step up. This has to be a much more balanced team. Last night they were throwing the ball a lot, but they've got to be a balanced offense. No Mark Andrews means they really need to run the ball effectively with their running backs as much as anybody else. Ray Gamer, I need huge help for trade questions. Trade deadline is tomorrow. Ray Gamer, you've come to the right place. I'm here to answer your fantasy questions, sports betting questions. If you guys want some help with some of the sports bets that we can put up on the table tonight, make sure you hit us up. We'll do the research right in front of you. And of course, if you guys want me to rant or talk about anything going on in the sports world, just let me know. That's what I'm here for every day. Mendez, since Burrow is out, Russell Wilson is on waivers. Should I go for him? It's not a terrible idea. I will warn you, Russell Wilson is not a great fantasy football quarterback right now. He's playing really efficiently. He's playing really effectively. But I wouldn't go out of my way to call him a great fantasy quarterback. No, he's actually playing better football, but he's not really much different as a fantasy option. Now, getting more touchdowns is good. Throwing the ball a little more is good. But I do think there are probably some other quarterbacks that might be better options rest of season. This week against the Vikings, I am okay with it. This week against the Vikings, I would be okay with it, but if you had Burrow, I would suspect you had him in your lineup last night over anybody else. So, Mendez, it really depends on if you're thinking rest of season or just this week. Ray Gamer, thanks for subscribing. Ray Gamer, throw your questions here. Definitely here to help you out. Really appreciate you subscribing. Bro, this is bad. How low should I sell Jamar for Brock Ford? If you wanted to hold on to Jamar Chase, I'm actually not going to hate it. They're still going to throw him the ball. I think you saw something from Browning. The one thing I'll say about Browning, when he was at Washington, he was a chucker. Now, he doesn't have great arm strength, but he's a chucker. He does throw the ball. So I don't think you're dealing with someone who's completely inept. That said, if you traded Jamar Chase, just be mindful of the fact that everyone's going to want to rip you off, and everyone thinks as low of Chase's value right now as you do. So be careful, because you're in a vulnerable position to give away too much and get back too little. Jamar Chase for Swift, I'd be okay with it. I still don't love it, because there still is probably a lack of value there. It's closer to equal than it should be. But that said, you're on the right track, Brock Ford. Should I trade Jamar Chase for Davante Adams? Wow, great question. The answer is probably yes. The answer is probably yes, because I think I trust Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders' offense more. But this is what I would say. I haven't done the research on this, so I'm going to put this on you. Is it Jedro? I'm going to put this on you. Go look up the schedules for the Bengals and the Raiders. Who has the worst remaining schedule? Because Davante Adams and Jamar Chase, I really do think that's a very fair comparison right now. I lean towards Adams being a bit more valuable in the light of day with Burrow being out for the rest of season. But if somehow, I haven't seen it, so you got to do this research on your own. If the Bengals have a dog poop schedule rest of year, a lot of bad defenses, bad corners. Now, I don't think that's the case, but if it is, okay, maybe you keep Jamar Chase. See how he plays for a couple weeks. Maybe you hold on to him. If it looks like Adams has just got either the same level of opponents or a little bit better, Adams would be the play. If Ty goes to Adams right now, that's what I would say. Luca, appreciate the help, no problem. Flex play, Swift, Nico, Devontae. I'd go Nico Collins. I don't like Swift this week going up against a really good Chiefs run and pass defense, frankly. Devontae Adams, I'm not crazy about him. He's facing Jalen Ramsey, and you know that the Dolphins have been preparing to take away Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams the whole week. I think Nico Collins is the best play. Majomes, trade Amari Cooper for Jerome Ford. I'd be okay with that, actually. Yep, I'd be okay with it. It sounds crazy. Maybe you want to ask for Ford plus something else. But yeah, actually, you're thinking the right thoughts, Majomes, in that the running game has more value right now than Amari Cooper. He's just going to get blanketed by opposing corners. And I don't think that there's anything that Dorian Thompson-Robinson's going to do about it. Kike Esquap, should I trade Olave to try to get Chase? I wouldn't do that. It's an interesting idea. It's interesting how Davante Adams, Chris Olave, and Jamar Chase are all suffering from injured quarterback syndrome. But with that said, I think that I like Olave a little bit more because I like the prospect of, obviously, Carr coming back, or maybe even Jameis Winston performing a little bit better than Browning. But it's an interesting idea, Kike Esquap. I like where your head's at. We dem boys, would you trade Chase for Waddle? Absolutely. Do it right now. Absolutely. Do you like Chiefs, Eagles over 45.5 points, your boy Alex? I haven't done the research on that one yet. I haven't looked at it. I'll probably go through that a little bit later. Probably later tonight. I'm supposed to go on out on a date tonight with my girl. But after that, I'll come back and do my research on that one, and we'll look at that. JP is asking a sports betting question, so let's jump on over to Outlier and do some sports betting research for you guys. We have about a half hour left of this show exclusively on YouTube, and then we will go on over to TikTok as well. We'll stay on these platforms, but we'll open up the TikTok audience as well. So if you do have questions, get them in now. Now's the time to do so. We're going to check out DeMar DeRozan under 5.5 assists. I will be giving out picks throughout that show starting at 5 p.m. as we get Outlier loaded up. DeMar DeRozan's going to be the first player we look at today from a sports betting standpoint here on Outlier. Under 5.5 is a really strong implied probability, and no doubt why. the Orlando Magic are the best team in the NBA at preventing assists. Really interesting. Now, this has actually been, frankly, a good trend. We're looking at the under right now. We're focused on the under. This has been a pretty good trend, actually. I like the fact that it's been very hit or miss. And by the way, interestingly enough, the teams that he's done it against are better teams. They're playoff caliber teams. Bucks, Suns, Nuggets, Mavericks. It's almost like when they play a good opponent, when the Bulls play a high quality opponent, he's aware that he needs to distribute the ball more, be more of a facilitator. On the other side, against lesser opponents, doesn't go for as many assists. Now, looking at the line movement, this actually jumped up from 4.5 up to 5.5. Thank God it did, because this has been hitting consistently at 4, so I like getting that extra 1.5 assists on my side. I'd take the under on this one. In fact, I'm going to even add it to my picks. Great find here by JP. I do like DeMar DeRozan under 1.5 assists. If we look at the head-to-head, it has cashed in back-to-back game against the Magic, but it hadn't cashed at any other time prior to that. Does this get me nervous? A little bit, but not enough to not take this one. I think this is a good find by you. At home, rather. 1 out of the last 4. Again, I just like the idea of taking this one, especially with how well this defense has performed in allowing assists. So, with that said, we can shift on over. By the way, against shooting guards, the Magic are the 5th best defense against shooting guards when it comes to allowing assists. Guys, if you guys aren't using Outlier, look at all the research I was just able to provide you guys in, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute of time? So if you guys are looking for free 7-day access to Outlier, DM me on Instagram. You can get this same kind of research right at your fingertips. Helps me put together my bets every single day. By the way, our NBA player prop bets have been on fire of late. On fire. Now, for game picks, I don't use Outlier as much. It's a great tool, but I've been using Killer Sports a lot more. We'll talk about Killer Sports a little bit later in the show. But that said, Outlier, I think, is the best research tool. Because it's available to you. Everything, it's the Bloomberg terminal of sports betting. Everything right there at your fingertips, whether it's game picks, player prop bets. So if you guys want that free 7-day trial, hit me up on Instagram right now. Getting back to your fantasy questions. LT YouTube, start Singletary over Pollard, Achan, or DJ Moore. No. I think I'd keep Singletary on the bench. It's close because Singletary versus Achan, that's close. I'd start Pollard. I'd start Moore, I think. Those are 2 players I'm going to go with. Singletary and Achan is very, very close. I might lean towards Singletary over Achan only because we know Achan's going to be splitting touches with Mostert. Eats into that production. However, Achan's speed is electric to me. Tough. LT YouTube, if you wanted to swap out Achan for Singletary, I get it. But I'd be okay starting Pollard, Achan, and Moore if you don't want to make any moves. Ray Gamer, my panic is very high on Barkley. I'm also trying to get Eckler and Hollywood Brown while trading away Barkley, Hunt, and Dak. That sounds good. And also Barkley and Hawkinson for Taylor and Diggs. The team as Hollywood Brown doesn't have a good QB or RB2. They have many wide receivers, so it seems good. And the tight end with Diggs has no. The team with Diggs has no tight end. Okay, I love where your head's at. Personally, I think I'd rather have JT and Diggs. I love Hawkinson, but JT and Diggs is a pretty good upgrade. However, if you did get Eckler and Hollywood Brown, love that as well. Love where your head's at, Ray Gamer. I think you're coming up with some really creative trades. I don't know if I were the opposing owner, I wouldn't pull the trigger on them, but obviously I'm not big on Barkley. Ray Gamer, given their situations, I love it. And additionally, love that you did the research to find out what do the other owners need? What do they have? Great job doing that research because that really is the difference. That's the difference in making the trade and just speculating. Finding the exact place to put Barkley in order to get something back. Great job, Ray. Luka, Goff or Herbert? Goff. Packers are a better pass defense. Goff has a phenomenal matchup against the Bears. Bears are a really good run defense. They are really not good against the pass. Goff is arguably my favorite quarterback of the week. Other than maybe Mahomes, it's between Goff and Mahomes as probably my top 2 quarterbacks. I love those 2. I definitely go Goff. Pittsburgh win the AFC North. No, I don't think so. I still think it's going to be the Ravens, but Pittsburgh Steelers fans, You just got so much in the last week. Deshaun Watson, gone. Joe Burrow, gone. Mark Andrews, gone. I don't know if any team has ever won the week more without playing a single down. Now, obviously, I'm being tongue-in-cheek because I never want to think a team is winning by other teams having injuries. It's awful that injuries occur. But the Pittsburgh Steelers just went from the basement to like the 15th floor, and they are looking at the penthouse going, we could get there. We could get there. JP, what was your thought process behind the Zubac pick? I like trends, but the head-to-head is a little scary to me. Okay, JP is such a good viewer. JP, big shout out to you. I know you check out my picks on the SHARPZ app every day. By the way, guys, if you want every bet that I make, if you want to know what JP's talking about and see every bet that I make every day, just DM me on Instagram. I give away all of my picks for free on the SHARPZ app, so just DM me on Instagram, and I will give you that referral code and link so you can see all the picks that I've made for today already. Now, I like Zubac on over rebounds today. He saw that. JP saw that. So let's take a look at it. I'll show it to you guys up on the screen why I like this one so much. So the head-to-head actually isn't as bad as you think. We'll dive into this a little bit. The problem I have right now is overall the last 10 games, the trend hasn't been there. Trend hasn't been there. However, home games, it's 3 out of the last 5. He's been better in the hardened time in some ways than before the hardened time, but I love the ranking. So first of all, Houston gives up the 20th most, they're 20th in preventing rebounds. Now, even better, against centers, shaboom, 25th. They are the 25th team in terms of allowing rebounds to centers. That made a big difference for me. One, I think Zubac is going to be the big man until they get Tice. I don't know if Daniel Tice is in the lineup tonight or not. I know they were trying to bring him over from Indiana. But the way this offense is structured, Zubac is their big man. So he's going to be out there a lot more. I know they're going to pull him off and go small, but frankly, it doesn't work as well as people think. And now that Russell Westbrook has put himself on the bench, I think it helps Zubac even more stay on the floor. With that said, like the matchup with Houston, against everybody, they're 20th in rebounds allowed. Against centers, they're 25th in rebounds allowed. That I really like. Stretch it out. Again, this is home games. Pretty good trend. Pretty good trend in home games. Over again, this stretch from end of season to this season. I take it back. I look at the head-to-head. At home, 2 out of the last 3. Now, obviously, if I take away the home game, 3 games in a row this is missed. However, if I only focus on home games, this hasn't been terrible. Missed last time, but I'm not going to take too much from that. I like the play. I know there's some risk in it, but at minus 120, that's why I took it. If you wanted to take another line, 7.5 is perfectly fine. 6.5, fold it into parlays. But I'll take a chance on this one, really given the matchup against the Houston Rockets and how they perform against centers, giving up rebounds. That's my reasoning for that, JP. Really appreciate the question. Your boy Alex, little rant about the Clippers losing 6 straight. No problem. The Clippers made the ultimate mistake. They thought if they built a super team of names, they'd have a super team on the floor. It don't work that way. This ain't Madden. This ain't NBA 2K. It isn't fantasy football or basketball. You can't just bring together names and get production. You have to have the right pieces. I actually love what the Celtics did. For a quick second, they changed what their team was. Marcus Smart wasn't as good a piece as, say, a Derek White. Porzingis was a better piece than Robert Williams. Maybe the talent's not the same. Maybe the quality of name isn't the same, but the cohesion's better. What the Clippers did that was a drastic mistake is they thought if we just add all-stars, if I just add chocolate to this cake, there's no way this cake can't be good with all this different kinds of chocolate, right? No, it can make you sick. You got to have the right ingredients together. And what I hate right now is the fact that they have taken Russell Westbrook, who has done everything right. I actually got to give Russell Westbrook his flowers. Ever since he came to the Clippers, he has done everything right. He's done everything they've asked of him. He's performed, he's fit in, he's brought good energy, he has been exactly what they asked for. A lot of people thought Russell Westbrook was done, and he has done a brilliant job of resurrecting his career. And what happens to him? They bring in James Harden, and now he's got to be the bigger man and sit on the bench. James Harden is not playing better basketball right now than Russell Westbrook. But Russell Westbrook has to lower himself for the sake of the team. By the way, Kawhi Leonard has never had a 6-game losing streak in his high school, college, or NBA career. You think Kawhi Leonard's pissed off right now? Kawhi Leonard, for all the talk about sitting and rest, Kawhi Leonard likes to win. Kawhi Leonard does not play basketball just to get stats. He is a winner. I bet he's pissed off. I think James Harden's addition to the Clippers was a massive mistake, and unfortunately, it will keep them from winning a championship. Did I think they were championship caliber before? Fringes, Western Conference Finals. Right now, I'd be curious if this team can crack the top 5 in the Western Conference in the standings for playoffs. And by the way, I'd wonder if they get past the first round. Because right now, the Sacramento Kings don't have as many superstars. They are a much better team. The Denver Nuggets don't have as many superstars. They are a much better team. I could say that about 4 or 5 other teams in the West. I think the Clippers are in a bad spot, and I think Ty Lue is just being given this mess with no roadmap. Feel really bad for him and the rest of the Clippers organization. And by the way, James Harden, sorry, dude, but if you can't stay in basketball shape year-round, I gotta wonder what's your motivation. Do you really want the contracts that you've been clamoring for if you come into camp every year overweight? Are you not committed? Clearly, James Harden doesn't want to win a championship at the same level as some of these other guys because every offseason, this dude backslides on his weight and his conditioning. There is no excuse for that. None. There's no excuse. You have chefs, you have workout facilities, you can literally take a plane at any point in the day to any place on the world to go work out. And what does James Harden do? He just lets himself go. I think the Clippers have a lot of problems right now. Ray Gamer, hey, I think I forgot to post this one. I got offered this trade by someone else. Should I accept this? I'm giving Barkley, Olave, and Hawkinson, and I receive Henry, Smith, and Kincaid. I wouldn't do that one. That one I wouldn't do. I don't like Henry's value enough. I don't like Smith's value enough. Hawkinson is better than Kincaid. So Ray Gamer, don't like that trade. The Joker, full PPR, pick 2. Raheem Mostert, Achan, Ridley, Ford, and Myers. Really tricky here. The Joker, I'm leaning towards Mostert and Ridley. I understand Achan coming back could get really good opportunities. You guys know I don't like starting players the week after they come off the IR. It's just like, what are they? How many touches? Are they going to just bring them right back in full workload or ease them back in? Too many unknown variables. And additionally, Raheem Mostert has found the end zone consistently this year. While Achan eats into his production between the 20s, I still feel like Mostert, at worst, gets a touchdown and maybe 5, 6 other fantasy points in his rushing and receiving game. So the Joker, I'd go Mostert and Ridley. Those would be the 2 for me. JP, Leafs back in the game 2-2. Happy to hear it, man. I'm very happy to hear it. Jalen Guzman, with Burrow out, I need a quarterback. My running backs are K9, Swift, and Jacobs. Should I trade K9 straight up for someone like Stroud? I'd be okay with it, Jalen. Now, I don't love giving up running backs at this point in the year, but I actually think that what you proposed, K9 for Stroud, is a really good trade. Now, if I own Stroud, I probably wouldn't make the deal, so be mindful. You might have to sweeten it a little bit, but I do think you're sniffing out good value. K9, his value is going down, Stroud's is going up, and I prefer Swift and Jacobs over K9 rest of season. Good thinking, Jalen. Your boy Alex, so if Justin Jefferson comes out of IR and plays this week, is he not a trustable starter? No, he's not, for 2 reasons. One, again, what's his workload going to be? Are they really going to, is Kevin O'Connell really going to push Justin Jefferson in his first week back, or do they ease him back? Don't know. One of the reasons why Justin Jefferson may not play this week. But secondly, less to do with him coming off the IR and more to do with Patrick Surtain II is a really good cornerback. Patrick Surtain II is enough reason to kind of fade Justin Jefferson, even if he was healthy. So the fact he's coming off IR and has a really tough matchup in the secondary with Patrick Surtain II, yeah, it gives me a little caution on Jefferson. I might like Adams just a little bit more. Daniel Pipko, not sure if you answered this one. Might have missed it. Trade Olave, Swift, and Hollywood Brown for Diggs and Ferguson. Okay, to answer Daniel Pipko, to answer your quarterback question first, I would start Goff over Hurts. The projections may say Hurts is the better play. I understand that because the Philly push or tush push or whatever. That said, I still like Goff's matchup way more. Chiefs are a better defense than the Bears are. Goff's at home. Think he should have a really good passing game. I'll take Goff over Hurts. That said, to your trade question, Olave, Swift, and Hollywood Brown for Diggs and Ferguson is okay. Do I love it? No. I'm okay on it. If you pulled the trigger, fine. But I like Swift. I like Hollywood Brown. Diggs is in a tough spot. Keep in mind, Bills have some tough games coming up ahead. I'm okay if you pulled the trigger because you do upgrade at the wide receiver and the tight end, but it's close. Mendez, is Fields worth trying to acquire from a trade? No. I don't think so. I think there are probably other quarterbacks to go with. Adams replaces Metcalf. Ray Gamer, I'm confused now. Guys, we have about 15 minutes left of the show on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick exclusively. And then we are going to jump on over and add TikTok as well. So if you guys are loving the content, loving the show, you don't have to go anywhere. But in about 15 minutes, we will open up the TikTok audience. So it's going to get a little nuts in here. You know how those guys are. I traded Tank Dell and Waddle for Ford and Adams last week, but only have Ramondre Stevenson at running back. I'm trying to plan for playoffs. So I traded Waddle. Was that a bad trade? I think so, because I prefer Dell and Waddle. I understand what you were thinking, but sometimes we outthink ourselves. Reed Johnson, Raiders play Denver, Chargers, KC, and Colts in the playoffs. Well, love the matchup against the Chargers, love the matchup against the Colts. Denver and KC is a little tricky, though. Bengals play Minnesota, yes. Pittsburgh, yes. KC and Cleveland. Wow, interesting. Reed, I'd probably take the Raiders more. I probably like Devontae Adams more than, I'd take Adams more than Chase. Very interesting. Very interesting. Who saw that coming? TB, should I trade Walker and Evans for Swift and Garrett Wilson? TB, I think I would do it. TB, I think I would do it. It's very close because I like Evans a lot, but I think I would do it. JP, let's go. You know we're on the Maple Leafs today. We put out our hockey picks as well as everything else. By the way, that Maple Leafs one was actually supposed to be my best bet. I didn't realize that game was starting a little early on the schedule. So that was actually going to be the best bet I was going to give out for this game. Glad they're up 3-2. Makes me feel better about it. I have Chase, Puka, Evans, and Hollywood Brown. So I was thinking I would be fine at wide receiver. Chase, Puka, Evans, and Hollywood Brown. You probably are still fine. Your boy Alex, okay, I switched Justin Jefferson with Calvin Ridley, but who do I start for the flex? Adams, Singletary, Judy. I'd probably start, if you want to trust JJ, I'm okay with it, but I think I'd start Singletary 1, Adams 2, Judy 3. Singletary would probably be 1, though. Ray Gamer, someone sent me a trade of them giving Swift, Adams, and Ferguson. I give away Hawkinson, Metcalf, and Barkley. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No. I don't think I'd do it. Daniel Pipko, have Burrow and Chase in a dynasty, so can't even trade them now. Currently 9-1, too. Daniel Pipko, man, you are just taking a Brazilian wax to the balls, dude. Brutal. I'm so sorry. Majones, does Mac Jones have a job next year? That's a great question. I mean, yes, I think he'll be a backup. I don't think he'll be a starter anywhere. But do I think Mac Jones will be out of the NFL in 2024? No. I think someone's going to give him the opportunity, especially because he's still in development. There may be some people who believe he could be a backup. There are also a lot of Alabama connections in the NFL, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone gave him a shot. But is Mac Jones going to be a starter in 2024? Not without someone going down with injury. Mendez, acquire Murray, trade away Javonte Williams and Kyle Pitts. I have Henry, Mostert, and Kyron Williams. I don't love it. Javonte Williams is becoming on stronger as the season, obviously getting healthier. I don't love it. And I'm not as big on Kyler Murray as some other people are. Ray Gamer thing, so it looks like coming down to 2 or 3 trades instead of thinking over 6 of them. Yep, that's right. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content and the conversation. Make sure you guys are hitting that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. We are live every single day. There is not one day of 2023 I won't be live. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're with us every single day. That way you never miss our show. You never miss our content. It's always wonderful having you guys with us every day. By the way, JP, I had no idea that this was a 3-goal third period for the Maple Leafs. Obviously, keeping our eye on that one. A few more minutes left. Hopefully we can get a good one out of that. We will open it up to the TikTok audience in about 5 minutes, everybody, so get your questions in now. Got offered Connor for Thielen. I don't want Thielen. Christian Vasquez, I don't want Thielen. Is there any running back you think I can pick up right now for this week? I have Foreman currently, but Charbonnet is top of waivers. I don't have a great answer on that one right now. Who is that? Peace Control FN. Write some of the other names. Peace Control FN. Write some of the other players that are out there, running backs on the waiver wire. I'll let you know from the ones that are available in your league which one I would go with. By the way, we are really... JP, we are really keeping our eye on that game. You know all the bets that I have because you follow me on SHARPZ, but you are very aware I have my eye on that game very, very close. I even put out on Instagram, there was a great trend about this Maple Leafs Red Wings matchup that we found through Killer Sports. So, only 2 minutes left in the game. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Christian Vasquez, how about Connor for Rice? Yes. Christian Vasquez, I much prefer Rice over Thielen. This week, rest of season, I'm high on Rashee Rice. He's really become the #1 wide receiver on that team somehow. Saul, LaMelo, under 6.5 rebounds. Let's go do some research for Saul. Saul was asking about LaMelo under on rebounds. Let's check out LaMelo Ball. So 6.5 rebounds is the better implied probability, and a lot of that has to do, though, with how he's done in the last 10 games, how he's done head-to-head against the Bucks. However, Bucks are not a great rebounding team. We'll also take a look at this. Against point guards, they're better, but they're still not a great rebounding team. Now, one thing I will note, I think the loss of Holiday is a big part of this, and they haven't quite figured out how to stop opposing point guards at the same level that they were before. So just be mindful of that. This isn't as good a play as it could have been probably last year. So, something that has me a little concerned. The trend has me feeling really good about this one. We put it in home games, even better. This has not been a good trend so far this year. It's only cashed once, and that was against a Detroit team that gives up a good amount of rebounds to point guards. So with that said, I like this play as well. I think this is a good bet. Looking at it head-to-head, cashed once, missed once. Not a lot we can take from that. But overall, I think this is a good one to play, Saul. Not one I'm going to put up on my big board, but definitely one that I would consider if I were you. But Jones, does Butt Fumble Sports do any international sports? Of course. If you guys want to talk anything, Butt Fumble Sports will either find somebody that knows or we'll do the research on our own to make sure we give you guys great advice. Do you still like Randall rebounds if I can only get it at 10? I think he could get a double-double, but I liked it at the 8.5. I liked it where I took it. So it's definitely one I'm a little bit nervous about if you're taking it at the 10. Do I think he can get the double-double? Yes, I do. But there's a reason I took it exactly at the spot I did. Christian Vasquez is asking about Wembanyama on blocks and steals. Let's dive into it. Wemby on blocks and steals. Over, really strong implied probability on this one. Even though the opponent ranking isn't really great, the blocks, this is not a team that gives up a lot of blocks. They do give up more steals, something to be mindful of, but this isn't a great one. Hasn't been cashing too consistently over the last few days. However, home games, this is a good trend. The reason we do like this is because in home games, Wembanyama has been delivering. So if you wanted to take it tonight, I'd be okay with it. I'm not going to endorse the blocks. Frankly, that's actually what has me worried. It's set at 2.5, and you're really relying on him to get a block. He might get one, but frankly, I'd be kind of curious about the steals. Over half a steal, that's been a pretty good ticket, actually. Look at this in home games. 5 straight home games, he's got a steal. That's the play. Guys, that's the play. I'm going to add this to my picks right now. That's the bet you want. So, to answer your question, Christian Vasquez, I don't like it at the 2.5. Don't like that line. What do I like? I like this over half a steal for Victor Wembanyama. I added it to my picks over here on the Outlier app. That's one at minus 165. 5 straight home games. Steals are more likely against this team. I like that one. That's the one I would play. That's the one I'd play. In fact, let's get that up on the board. And while we do so, I'm going to open this up to the TikTok audience right now. So, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, you are no longer alone anymore. We have opened it up. The TikTok audience is now joining us. Welcome in, everybody, to the Butt Fumble Sports Show. We have been live for an hour. We have another hour to do. We will answer fantasy football questions, sports betting questions, and obviously rant about whatever you guys care about. Make sure, no matter the platform, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, that you hit that follow button, that you hit that subscribe button, that you are a member of the best community, the best team of sports fans on all of social media, Team Butt Fumble Sports, also known as Team Cashing Tickets. Hope you guys enjoy the show. If you do, hit the like button. Let others know about Butt Fumble Sports. If you're watching on TikTok, share the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, hit that like button. Let other people know that we are a great source of content every single day. We are going to give out picks throughout the show. Every 2,000 likes, we are going to give out a game pick. Every time we hit our live goal, we're going to give out a player prop. So a lot of picks to give out for tonight's NBA and NHL action. We have already cashed on 2 tickets tonight, guys. If you follow my picks on the SHARPZ app, you will already know we already just cashed. Literally 2 minutes ago, we just cashed on Maple Leafs on the money line and Maple Leafs Red Wings on the under. I put that out on Instagram earlier today. That was a good trend around that. Hope you guys are following us on all of our platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Instagram. That way you never miss our content or some of the trends we give out during the day. I am going to give out a pick that we just did our research on prior to the TikTok audience joining us. It was Victor Wembanyama. Over half a steal. Victor Wembanyama over half a steal. Giving out that pick to get us rolling. Hope you guys are going to share, hit the channel, hit the like button so we can give out even more picks. That said, let's get back to your fantasy questions. Luis FG, I have Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Johnson, and Dell. You got to start Amon-Ra St. Brown this week. You got to start Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, how do you feel about trading Keenan Allen for Kupp and JT? If you need the upgrade at running back, I love getting JT. The Cooper Kupp becomes a throw-in in some ways. Leaves cash in a comeback win, JP. And the underhit. So we really did well on that one. Glad that you're following us on the SHARPZ app. Again, if you want every bet that I make every day, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. I give away my picks for free, so make sure you DM me on Instagram. Start Ridley or no? Alexander, yes I would. Alexander, yes I would. More, not less. White and DK for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Hopkins. It's a fair trade. I do it. Aiden, yo, can you check Aiden Badia's YouTube question? Oh, okay, Aiden, I'll answer your question over here on YouTube. Aiden asks, I made a trade. It's 1 PPR redraft. I gave up Hawkinson, Evans, Puka, and Kyron to a team that won't make the playoffs and got Laporta, Breece Hall, James Cook, and Pittman. My friends say I got fleeced. Yeah, you did actually. I really like Laporta and I like Breece Hall, but frankly, I think you got fleeced a little bit. Now, I think Hawkinson and Laporta are close in value, but Hawkinson may be more valuable. Evans, Puka, I like them more than James Cook and Pittman. You're really only making the trade to upgrade from Kyron to Breece Hall. So, Aiden, no, I think your friends might be right. Dom, pick 3. Dom, I'd go Jones, Montgomery, and I'll lean just slightly towards Henry. Dom, I'll go Henry, Montgomery, and Aaron Jones. Just barely. Close one, though. B. Birch. Do I start Wilson or Smith? B. Birch, I'll start Devontae. I got to dive into this one. I got to look at it really quick. Smith or Wilson? Where are those Buffalo Bills? So Buffalo is there. Yeah, I got to go Garrett Wilson. The matchup's favorable. Alex, Etienne for Jefferson. I don't know if I'd do it. Giving up the running back right now, not a great play. Lethal Jake, with Andrews out, done for season. Last night I traded Musgrave and Dobbs for Kyle Pitts just to have someone. I thought Musgrave would have been a pretty good play. Christian Vasquez, Aaron Jones, or Montgomery. This week, Aaron Jones. Christian Vasquez, this week I'd go Aaron Jones. Mark Gonzalez, MMA, trying for damage control from trading A.J. Brown and Etienne for Christian McCaffrey. Just got Purdy and Pittman. Thoughts? I think you're doing okay. I think you're making the right moves to try to add value to the rest of the team. Michael Hayes, does T. Higgins still have value? Very little. Very little. Start one at the flex. Dell, Kirk, Singletary, or DK. I'll go Kirk. I'll go Christian Kirk out of that group. LLKLOL. And Gonway is someone I picked up in case Madison is out. Boone, Dowdle. I'd go Dowdle. I'd go with him. He might be someone I'd pick up as well. Yo boy Alex Rant, can you predict the perfect fantasy lineup this week? That would be cool. No, I certainly can, and I would hate to try because I probably will get it wrong. But I think Jared Goff is going to be a great play. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be a phenomenal play as well. If I had to look towards a running back, I'm still a believer in Tony Pollard, but I understand if you guys are a little bit worried about him. Maybe not as favorable, but I still like him a lot. If I'm looking towards other running backs as well, it would probably be... I'm big on Christian McCaffrey to get back in the end zone this week, so he's someone that I like. I mean, I like your idea. Chandler is actually someone off the waiver wire who could have some value as well. James Cook, some of them. Midwest Juice, I'd go White. Page, CJ Stroud, or Herbert this week. I'd go Stroud. Over Herbert this week. The OG big fella stopped me from throwing all Al Horford overs tonight. The OG. Okay, we're going to do a quick look on Al Horford on his overplays because the big OG fella is about to drop some money on Al Horford. The Celtics are playing the Toronto Raptors tonight, so we're going to keep our eye. By the way, I'm actually not seeing Al Horford up on the board. Is Al Horford... Oh, I don't see any bets with him right now. Is something up with Al Horford? I'm not seeing him up on the board. I'm not seeing any bets with him. Interesting. The Outlier app doesn't have any of them. Uh-oh, the big OG. Will Gibbs keep this up? Luis, I don't love his matchup this week, but I do think that he is going to be in a really good position for the next few weeks. Mark Gonzalez. Thanks so much, Mark Gonzalez. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate you becoming, hitting me up with all those gifts. You're the best. Mason Meyer. I'd go Terry McLaurin and DK. DK and McLaurin. When we hit 2,000 likes, we're going to give out a game pick for tonight's action. When we hit our live goal, we will give out a player prop bet. So if you love our picks, you guys know how to get them. Fatfish. Will Gibbs keep doing this? Like I just said, I don't like him this week, but I do like him rest of season. Nathan, should I trade Stroud for Kincaid? No, I wouldn't. I mean, you need the tight end. Nathan, I don't love it. Stroud's performing so well, and I think Lamar's value could actually go down now that he doesn't have Mark Andrews. So I don't love the trade. I like getting Kincaid, but I don't love the trade. Luis FG. I'm going to go Luis FG. I'll go... That's a close one. Luis FG is asking Stroud or Jalen Hurts right now. If I had to go with one, I'm going to go with Stroud. I'll go with Stroud over Jalen Hurts. Chiefs defense is just performing too well for me. Cam Prescott, do I trade away Stroud or Herbert? I might trade away Stroud. His value is really high right now. You feel like he comes back down to earth. I might trade Stroud now between those two. Kyan, trade Pollard and Cup away and receive Adams and Breece Hall? No, I don't think I would, actually. Matt R. Jack, trade Jefferson for Allen and Jalen Guyton. Matt R. Jack, I'm okay with that. I'd be okay with it. Your boy Alex, if Dallas went up against the Niners again in the playoffs, do you think the same result would happen? Yes. I think the Cowboys are more fraudulent than real. When they play really good opponents, I don't know if they're going to be able to hold up to it. They've beaten up on a lot of bad players. Who knows if they can actually withstand a good opponent come postseason. JP is asking us to check out Jaylen Brown on his point total. Let's take a quick look at Jaylen Brown's point total for tonight. Set at 22.5. The under has the better implied probability. One of the reasons for this is a good defense overall when it comes to points allowed. However, they're very bad against shooting guards. They are one of the worst defenses in the league against shooting guards, or shooting forwards rather, strong forwards. So with that said, good opportunity here. Jaylen Brown actually has a better matchup than you would think. Shift this over to the over side, over 22.5. This might be a decent play. Now, he's been battling an illness, so something to be mindful of. But in away games so far this year, this is cashed in 3 out of the 5 games on the road this year. And again, better opponent matchup than you would have necessarily thought. This is a good one. I actually think there's value in this. I don't love it at 22.5. That seems a touch high. I wish you could take it at 20.5. I think he gets to 21 points. I don't love it at 22.5, but that's something I would consider. Really, what am I going to do? I'll probably take it at 19.5. I'll add that to my picks, and I'll fold it into some parlays that I'll put together after the show. Getting back to your fantasy questions. Eric, trade Laporta and Connor for Achan. Eric, no, I wouldn't. I think Laporta has got too much value. Unless you really need the upgrade at running back, I wouldn't do it. Gio, Tank Dell or Devontae Smith? Gio, I'd go Dell. Gio, I'll go Dell. Adam Katzman, trade for Pollard. I'd be okay with it, actually. He's got some good matchups towards the home stretch of the season. We have just hit 2,000 likes, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hitting me up, hitting that like button, tapping that screen. We are going to give out picks right now. We are going to give out picks. We give out picks every single day. So appreciate you guys being with us. Let's give out our first pick. I guess it's our second pick since we gave out the Victor Wembanyama. This is going to be a game pick because we hit 2,000 likes. So this is going to be our first game pick given out of the show. First one, I am going to take Bucks on the money line. Probably an obvious one for you guys. I'll take Bucks on the money line. I'm going to put in some money line plays, fold them into some parlays. But that's the first one I'm giving out. 4,000 likes will be the next one. 4,000 likes will be the next pick we give out. Daniel Pipko, do you think Goff will have to throw a lot against the Bears? Yes. They're going to stop the run pretty effectively is my expectation. Ryan Allen, pick one. I'd go Hop. D-Hop would be the play this week. I like DeAndre Hopkins this week. Have Burrow, do I pick up Dobbs, Murray, or Howell? Pick up Sam Howell. Silky J Money. Sam Howell's been performing really well this year. He's the one I would go with. Paxton Dane. Oh, thanks so much, Paxton Dane. Perfect timing on that. Paxton Dane, do I trade Kirk and Terry McLaurin for Cooper Kupp? No. Bad trade. 2 good players with good value for someone that's a little shaky because Stafford's health. No. Paxton Dane, I wouldn't do it. Dilly the Kid, I'd go Ayuk. Drew, thanks so much for getting us halfway to our live goal. When we get to the other half, when we complete the live goal, we will give out, let's give out 2-player prop bets. Let's have some fun. 2-player prop bets when we hit that live goal. Aaron Medley, I traded Tua and Laporta for Kupp. Fair? I don't like the trade. It's fair, but I don't like the trade. ID KKKKK, do I trade Amon-Ra St. Brown? Thanks, Paxton Dane. Do I trade Amon-Ra St. Brown for JT and Terry McLaurin? I have Diggs, Amon-Ra, Eckler, Thielen, and Lamar. I wouldn't. Actually, now that I say it, Saul, thanks so much for giving those gifts. I kind of like the trade now that I see your running back situation, so actually I am okay with it. Paxton Dane, thoughts on Pollard? I think he's got really good matchups towards the end of the season. I think he kicks it into high gear and plays a lot better down the final month of the year. We just hit our live goal, so we are going to give out 2-player prop bets, guys. 2-player prop bets coming your way. Thank you guys for helping me out with my live goal. Gave this one out during the YouTube show, so I'm going to add it into our group right now. I mentioned Zubac. Zubac has a really favorable matchup against the Houston Rockets. They are a good defense. They're a bad rebounding team against centers. So I'm going to take Zubac over 8.5 rebounds. May not be a popular pick with you guys, but definitely one that I like. That's the first one I'll give out. I'll give out another right here. Zion Williamson. Which way am I going with Zion? I'm going under 4.5 assists. If you can, get it at under 5.5 as well. Don't like the matchup for Zion when it comes to assists, so I am under. Zion under 4.5 assists. Ivan Zubac over 8.5 rebounds, and I already had Victor Wembanyama over half a steal up on the board. Bald and bored. I hope you're being entertained by our show right now. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Really grateful for all the support you're showing me right now. Oh, Jason Myers or Boswell. I'd go Myers. I think I'd go Myers. Bald and Board is just crushing it. Bald and Board is like, man, Butt Fumble Sports, we love the content. Thanks so much, Bald and Board. Angel, start 2, McLaurin, Addison, or Sutton. Angel, I'd go McLaurin and Sutton. Angel, I'd go McLaurin and Sutton. Luke, would you start Singletary over Jones or Breece Hall? I'd start Jones. I think I'd start Aaron Jones. Amy Long, Mahomes or Dobbs? Mahomes, Mahomes, Mahomes. Mahomes has the better matchup. Eagles are a bad pass defense. I'd go Mahomes. Chris B has a sports betting question. Chris B's asking about Kyle Kuzma. Let's go check out Kyle Kuzma over on his point total. Checking that out for Chris B. The implied probability on this is heavy on the under. Knicks are the best defense right now when it comes to scoring in the NBA. And against power forwards, they're the 10th best defense in terms of preventing points. So I wouldn't take Kyle Kuzma over on this one, especially at home. Look at this at home. 4 straight games he's gone over this. Now, in 3 of those games he got over 20, so it should make you a little nervous. But under 22.5, we like it. Bald and Board, throw that confetti in the air. We got some picks to give out to say thank you to Bald and Board. But Kyle Kuzma, under 22.5 points, I would take that one. Head-to-head against the Knicks. It has missed back-to-back games. That makes me a little nervous. That does make me a little nervous. The head-to-head matchups aren't great. And they've all been at home. Oh, no. We had a good trend going. Chris B. This is one I'm not going to bet. Split decision for me. I like the under based on the matchup, but at home this is cashed consistently. Chris B. I wouldn't touch this bet. I don't have good confidence in it. It is the ultimate coin flip. Don't do it. I wouldn't bet this one. Tricky, tricky bet. Would avoid it. D-Clan. D-Clan Holmstrom. Chase and Achan for Diggs. Yes, yes, yes. D-Clan, I would do it. Good trade, actually. Booty Bola, I'd go DK. Booty Bola, I'd go DK. Masked Panda. Masked Panda, I did not answer your question. Don't worry. Feel free to ask it again. Actually, I've got it right now. Masked Panda could use an upgrade. Thanks so much, Bald and Board. Could use an upgrade in both QB and running back. Should I try and do Logan Thomas for Goff? Or Logan Thomas? I like Logan Thomas for Goff, but I don't know if you're getting enough value. Quarterback's an easier thing to pick up. You might value the running back more, but frankly, I like Goff. I do like getting Goff right now. Masked Panda, that is what I do. By the way, for all of those watching on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, thank you for sitting through some of those commercials. We are growing the network, which means we are growing the platform, which means we are getting some ads around the show. Really appreciate you guys watching through. Just means that we're able to grow a little bit more, building this company. Thank you guys so much for the loyalty and sticking through. I know those can be a pain in the ass. Yo boy Alex, who will win the Rookie of the Year? Wembanyama. Chet is good, Wembanyama is better, and Wembanyama is going to take the Spurs to a greater place. The difference between the Thunder without Chet and with Chet won't be nearly as great an improvement as Wembanyama Spurs with Wembanyama as opposed to without him last year. Daniel, I'd go Ayuk. Daniel, I'd go Ayuk over Evans. Ayuk over Evans. Easy. Can you give me a prize pick? Oh, lost your question. Sorry. Throw it back in there. We'll find it. Brent, Flex, Pacheco, or Chandler. And hello, sir. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're doing well, Brent. Great to see you every day. Really appreciate your loyalty. I'd go Ty Chandler. Pacheco has a terrible matchup against the Eagles' run defense. And on the other side, Chandler has a good matchup against the Broncos' run defense. So I'd go Ty Chandler, Brent. I know it's counterintuitive given the brand names, but that's what I do. Renzi, I'd go Collins. I'd go Collins. Colin, do I start Puka? You can, but I'm worried about the injury. Check out his status as the week goes along. JRF, I'd go Mostert. I'd go Mostert, just barely over Schultz. Vaughn, thoughts on Higgins' rest of season? Value has plummeted, and one of the reasons it's plummeted is T. Higgins is in a contract year. T. Higgins obviously wants to put some good things on tape, but the fact that this season's going to go nowhere for the Bengals most likely, do I think T. Higgins wants to put himself in a vulnerable position and miss out on the payday with a team that's not going to make the playoffs, not going to make the Super Bowl? I think T. Higgins might mail it in a little bit sooner. I think he might make a business decision, if you know what I mean. Booty Balla, start 2. I'd start Barkley and Breece Hall. Booty Balla, Barkley and Breece Hall. Shonk 13, give up Tyreek and Lockett for Laporta, Wilson, and... No, I'd keep Tyreek Hill above everybody else. Your boy Alex, quick rant, early NFL awards. Who's my MVP right now? It is Jalen Hurts, largely based on the idea that best team, best player, defensive player of the year for me. I'd give it to Max Crosby. I know there are a lot of contenders out there. The reason I give it to Max Crosby, he is the most valuable player on his defense compared to everybody else. TJ Watt's a phenomenal player, but there's some other talent on that defense. You could argue Nick Bosa has as much talent around him as anybody else. Meanwhile, Max Crosby is single-handedly winning some games right now for the Raiders. I'd give it to Max Crosby as my defensive player of the year. Offensive player of the year, it's hard for me to not go with Tyreek Hill. He's just been so phenomenal throughout the season so far. Appreciate you guys being with us. We have picks to give out. We just hit 4,000 likes, so we have another game pick to give out, guys. Going to give out another game pick. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button. Let's give out another game pick. I'm going to take the Knicks minus 2.5. I took this two ways. I took Knicks on the money line for some of my parlays. I took Knicks minus 2.5 with the individual bet. So if you're looking for a New York pick tonight, New York Knicks minus 2.5. That's New York Knicks to cover minus 2.5. I will give out another pick when we hit 6,000 likes. Every 2,000 likes, we give out a pick. Every time we hit our live goal, we give out a player prop. When we hit 10,000 likes, we are going to give out our favorite pick of the night. Our SHARPZ play of the day comes every when we hit 10,000 likes. So, some things to look forward to in our show. By the way, your boy Alex, no, Micah Parsons would not be my defensive player of the year right now. No. In part because he's got so much talent around him. Mahomes, Swift over 58.5 rushing yards. I don't like it. Mahomes, I haven't done my research yet on the player prop bets. I'm going to do that tonight and tomorrow. But Mahomes, first blush against the Chiefs' run defense. I don't love that pick of over 58.5 rushing yards. I have to dive into it more. Caleb Stutz, Lawrence or Love this week? Wow, tough question. Love has the better matchup. I think I trust Lawrence more. So Caleb, I'm going to go with Lawrence, even though Love's got the better matchup. I just don't trust Jordan Love. Love should be a really good start for you guys who have a quarterback issue. If you need someone off the waiver wire, if you're trying to slot someone in, Jordan Love is a really good start this week. However, between Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love, I like Lawrence's matchup enough against the Titans and trust he'll bounce back after last week. I like Lawrence over Love just barely. Devin, what do I do without Andrews? You go find a new tight end, buddy. I'm so sorry, but that's all you can do. Colin, I'd go DJ Moore over Puka. Colin, DJ Moore over Puka. Colton, what do you think about Terry for Ford? Well, I like Scary Terry's value this week. I understand the move. If you're trying to upgrade a running back, I'm okay with it. But frankly, I'd hold on to Scary Terry at least for this week. Maybe you can't because the trade deadline's coming. Was it a panic to trade JJ when Kirk went down? I received Waddle, Dell, and White. No, Toby, great trade. Toby, phenomenal trade. Love it. You got good value there. Shonk 13, should I do Tyreek for Wilson? Forgive me. Tyreek for Wilson, Laporta, and JT. Oh, man, hiccups. Timeout. Okay, guys. Well, I've got the hiccups. I'm going to put a pick up on the board, so I'll try to lose the hiccups while I put out another pick. Oh, brutal. Sorry, guys. I'm sure this is hilarious to watch. Man battles hiccups on TikTok Live. Shunk13, I do love the trade. Shunk13, I like it. Okay, man battling hiccups comes back to give out a pick. Let's give out another pick. Thanks so much, Bald and Board. We're going to give out another game pick because we hit 6,000 likes. Let's give out an NHL pick. We cashed on the NHL about a half hour ago when the Maple Leafs came back from a 2-0 deficit in the third period to put up 3 goals. We cashed Maple Leafs on the money line. We cashed on the under. Love it. Let's give out another hockey pick. Not too much hockey action tonight, so this will be the only hockey pick we give out, but we give it to you right now. I'm taking the Sabres. I'm taking the Sabres and the Jets. I'm taking them under. You could take them under 6.5. I would also take the under 7.5, and I'd fold it into some parlays. I fold it into, like for example, I had Maple Leafs and this under 7.5. You could do some parlays at the 7.5. But I also like the under 6.5. That's Sabres, Jets, under 6.5, and under 7.5. 2 NHL picks for you. We are going to give out an NBA pick at 8,000 likes. And again, when we hit our live goal, we are going to give you 2 player prop bets. 2 player prop bets when we hit our live goal. M, do I trade Kincaid and DK for more? No. M, do not do it. M, do not do that deal. Chris B, Jordan Poole over under 16.5 points. Interesting one. When I was doing my research last night, the under's the better play with Jordan Poole. Now, I'd probably go to an alternative line, and I'd probably take it like under 18.5, something like that. 16 makes me nervous. But that said, Knicks are a really good defense. He has not been consistent with that number. Chris, I lean towards the under, but maybe you want to buy a point or two just to get a bit more security. Booty Balla, flex Nico Collins or Gibbs. Nico Collins. Booty Balla, I'd go Nico Collins. Luis Garcia, should I trade Walker and McLaurin for Laporta? You're giving up too much value, but I like the idea of getting Laporta. If that's the only way you could do it, I'd be okay, but the value's a little high. Trevor Carty, should I trade Johnson and Ridley for Puka? No. Bilbo Swaggins, I'd go Sam Howell. Bilbo Swaggins, Sam Howell over Justin Fields. Bilbo Swaggins, Sam Howell has been really consistent this year. Like it. Landon, should I trade Etienne for Swift and Walker? I like getting 2 running backs out of 1. No, Etienne's the best one out of that group. No, you're giving up the best one. But getting the depth, I don't hate that. So if you have another RB1, it's good. So if you're really swapping an RB2 for 2 RB2s, I like it. But if Etienne's your RB1, you might want to hold on to him, because if you don't have another RB1, Swift and Walker certainly are it. Booty Bola, I'd go Singletary. Booty Bola, I'd go Singletary. Luis Garcia, how about Higgins and Walker? How about it, Luis Garcia? I would do that. Luis Garcia, I would do that. I'd rather hold on to McLaurin than Higgins right now. I like the idea. Jones Nation, I'm not going to answer an open-ended question, so we're not going to do that right now. D-Clan, Pollard and Adams for Cup and DK. I'd rather have Pollard and Adams. Toby, Olave for JT. I actually do like it. Luperio, I'd go Kirk. I'll go Kirk just barely. Not Gerald. Chandler, Godwin, Dotson, Ferguson at the flex. Not Gerald. It's tough because I like Chandler, but I can't trust him enough. I'll go Godwin. Not Gerald. I'll go Godwin just barely. Nate, I'd go Ayuk. Nate, Ayuk at the flex over Kittle. It's close, but I like Ayuk. Arctic Tiger, do you like Markkanen over half a block? Let's take a quick look at it, everybody. We're going to look at Markkanen over half a block. Lauri Markkanen looking for his blocks. So it's set at a half. The under is the better implied probability. Now, kind of a tricky one here. The Phoenix Suns give up a lot of blocks. They give up a lot of blocks to power forwards. That suggests this is a good play. This has been a pretty consistent trend. 5 straight games this is cashed. It's a good matchup. Man, this is a tricky one. I like this. I understand that the implied probability goes against me. It's in part because this isn't cashed against the Suns. It's only cashed once, but it did cash most recently, and that was this season. So Arctic Tiger, I would say yes to this. I like the matchup against the Suns. I like the matchup the Suns have against power forwards in terms of being blocked at least once. I would take Lauri Markkanen over half a block. Arctic Tiger, like that one. Glad you put it up on our board. Nice job. Ian, I'd go DK. Ian, I'll go DK. Chris, I'll go oh, Chris, that's tough. Chris, I'm going to go with Kittle. Chris, I'll go Kittle just barely. Def not. Burrow was my only QB. I have McCaffrey, Eckler. Do I flip one? Don't. I'm going to say something that I talk about a lot, whether it's fantasy football, sports betting, sports in general, or I talk about this a lot in media, actually, from my time in media. Don't take someone who's performing well in the role that they have and then move them and not to try to fill in a hole. So instead of plugging in a hole, you actually create two. I mention this because oftentimes I think of, like, in my time in sports media, there was like someone who was really good in a certain role. They were like a great sideline reporter, or they were a great host of a show. And then they try to give that person more responsibility, and it's like, well, not only is that person bad at their new job, you just created a vacancy in that old role where they were succeeding. So this is what I would say. Just because you lost your quarterback doesn't mean you should decimate your running back position. You have two stud running backs. They are going to carry you into and through the playoffs. Don't trade one to try to upgrade a quarterback. Let's just say quarterback now is a lesser position for you. Maybe your running backs are so valuable, they can compensate for that lost value. But giving up a running back to get a quarterback usually isn't a good value exchange. So I would say hold on to your running backs. Maintain the value that you have already. Daniel, really tricky this one. Daniel, this week's tough because Saquon Barkley does have a decent matchup against the Washington Commanders. I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards Mostert. And the reason I say that is the Raiders are worse against the run. I think Mostert finds the end zone. Daniel, it's close, but I'll go Mostert just barely. When we hit 8,000 likes, we're going to give out another pick, guys. Another pick at 8,000 likes. Dre Sid, start one at wide receiver. I'd start Waddle. And start one at running back. I'll start Waddle and White. Majomes, I'd go Jaden Reed. Pluex, thanks so much, Pluex, for dominating the gift section. Thanks so much for contributing to the show, getting us closer to our live goal. When we hit our live goal, 2-player prop bets are coming your way. OG, I'd go Brian Robinson. You guys asked me who are some of my favorite running backs this week. Brian Robinson is among my favorite running backs this week. Really like Brian Robinson this week. Think he finds the end zone. We just hit our live goal because Pluex is a manimal along with the rest of you guys. Thank you guys for contributing to the show. Thank you for getting me to my live goal. With that said, we reset and we go and give out 2-player prop bets. I'm going to give out 2 NBA player prop bets right now. So everybody, keep those ears open. We are going to drop this one for you guys right now. Okay? First one I'm going to give out is Franz Wagner over 4.5 rebounds. This has been a very consistent bet. Really like this one. Franz Wagner over 4.5 rebounds. That's the first one I'll give out. Second one I'll give out, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. Julius Randle over 8.5 rebounds. Really favorable matchup tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. Julius Randle over 8.5 rebounds. Some of you guys have said that might have shifted up to 9.5, maybe even 10. Don't love it as much there, but I could see him getting the double-double. Personally, I love the 8.5. That was the play I really like. By the way, guys, we have Trevor. Who wins this trade? Ingram and Robinson for Evans and Singletary. Very even. It really depends on what you need. I think probably Evans and Singletary wins it because the wide receiver might be more valuable than the tight end. But Trevor Zemba, if you needed the wide receiver value, if you need the tight end, very fair trade, Trevor. I love the trade. Okay, guys, we're going to give out another game pick because we just hit 8,000 likes. Every time we hit 2,000 likes, we give out a game pick. Next pick that I'm going to give out, I am going to take the Kings on the money line. Sacramento Kings on the money line. Giving that one out to you guys. Kings on the money line. When we hit 10,000 likes, we are going to give out our SHARPZ play of the day. That is my favorite bet of the day, regardless of sport, type of play. My favorite bet of the day is coming in at 10,000 likes. So make sure you guys tap that screen. By the way, guys, you are crushing the live goal. Really appreciate you guys supporting us the way you do. And what are some of the best defenses this week? We talked about this a little bit earlier. Love the Cowboys, obviously, this week. I could see the San Francisco 49ers getting plenty of sacks to make it worth our while. I also think that the Washington Commanders and Giants game is going to be a battle of defenses. That said, I think Washington probably performs better. I like Miami's defense, probably not as much as others, but I think Detroit is also a really good one. Detroit Lions. Man, Bald and Board is crushing it. We have 2 more picks to give out. We might be giving out picks the rest of the show with the way Bald and Board is just crushing our live goal. So we have 2 more player prop bets to give out. 2 more to give out. First one, LeBron James over half a block. LeBron James over half a block in this one has been a pretty good bet consistency-wise against the Houston Rockets. We're taking LeBron. Oh, I shouldn't say against the Houston Rockets because he's not playing against the Houston Rockets. He is playing against the Portland Trailblazers. That's what I meant to say. Another dog poop team. So anyways, by the way, the Rockets aren't dog poop, so I shouldn't say that. But LeBron James over half a block. LeBron James over half a block. That is the player prop bet we just gave out. I have another one to give out to you guys. Kawhi Leonard over 2.5 assists. Kawhi Leonard over 2.5 assists has been an incredibly consistent play in Los Angeles. I also think that Leonard, since James Harden arrived, is looking for opportunities to distribute the ball more. So anyways, LeBron James over half a block, Kawhi Leonard over 2.5 assists. Those are the 2 player prop bets we just gave out. And guys, you guys have crushed it. You got us up to our live goal, so we are now going to give out my SHARPZ play of the day. If you guys don't know SHARPZ, I give out all of my picks every single day on the SHARPZ app. Every day I give out picks on the SHARPZ app. If you guys want every bet that I make, regardless of the sport, the type of bet, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports on Instagram. I'll give you the link and the referral code so you can see every bet that I make every day. But now it's time for our favorite bet of the day, guys. Are you ready? Are you set? Everybody get ready. Here we go. Best play of the day is going to be Cavaliers on the money line, guys. Cleveland Cavaliers on the money line. That is my favorite bet of the day, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet. Cavaliers on the money line is the one that I have the highest confidence level in. I understand that could be going off at like minus 350. I don't care. The reason I'm telling it to you guys is it's the one that I'm folding in as a parlay play, a parlay leg with a lot of different bets tonight. Cavaliers on the money line, that's the one I'm giving out as my SHARPZ play of the day. Jeff Peters, I'd start Barkley. Jeff Peters, I'd start Barkley over Pacheco. Thanks so much for the question. Diego just got off work. Is Randall over points and assists a good player prop? I do like it on over on points. Let's take a look really quickly if we like it on points and rebounds combined. Wasn't the one that I was looking at, but let's take a look. Points, rebounds combined. The over is a really strong implied probability, and for good reason. This is a good bet. Diego found a good one. 5 straight games, this is cashed. And, guys, great matchup here against the Washington Wizards. Points allowed. 28th in points allowed are the Washington Wizards. They're 30th in assists allowed. This is a good play. Julius Randle over points plus assists. I like this play. This is a good one. Good one. Bald and Board. Got to make sure I answer your question. You've supported the show a ton. Ford over Cook and Chandler. Very close. Very, very close. Interesting. Man, I don't know. I'm not as high on it. I might say James Cook. Bald and Board. I actually don't like Ford as much. I might say James Cook. I think I like Cook a little bit more, actually, Bald and Board. Good matchup against the Jets. I like Chandler a decent amount, but I think the Broncos' run defense is going to probably be a little bit stiffer this week than last week. Bald and Board, I might go Cook over Ford just barely. Steelers as a run defense, they're a little bit better than the Jets. I might go with Cook. Nosebleed Fantasy, should we trade Chase? Yes. Nosebleed Fantasy, I would trade Chase, yes. Romnick, Davis, or Godwin? I'd go Godwin. Romnick, I'd go Godwin. Ashley Owings, Rice, or Debo in the flex spot. Man, I like them both. Ashley, I'll go Debo, though. Ashley, I'll go Debo. Just trust him a little bit more. Ray-Ben 5, should I trade Swift for Breece Hall straight up? I'd get Hall. Not crazy about it. I like it, don't love it. Nathaniel Hackett has me worried about it. Ray-Ben, I don't think I'd pull the trigger. Adam Katzman, Saquon and Saquon's backup for Jacobs, and Saquon is my one. I'd be okay with it, Adam. I'd be okay with it. Alex Steffen, start 2, but pick 1. Oh, 1 wide receiver. Okay. I'd start Dell and Singletary. Alex Steffen, Dell and Singletary. Sad boy Danny, do I trade Adams for Swift? The answer's probably yes, but know that Swift's red zone value isn't there. Luis Garcia, Montgomery, Swift, Walker, and Henry start 2. Luis Garcia, I would start Swift, and I'd lean towards Walker, I think. Swift and Walker. Close, though. How do you rank Cup rest of season? It's all about Matt Stafford's health. I don't love it, given that Stafford really has not been able to maintain consistent health over the last few years. Bald and bored. Even without Deshaun, I feel like they'd lean on him. That's exactly the reason, Bald and bored. Put yourself in the Steelers' position. You just found out Deshaun Watson's not going to play. What's the one thing you've got to take away? The running game of the Cleveland Browns. If you're an opposing defense right now that's going to play the Raiders, that's going to play the Browns, that's going to play the Bengals, you go, okay, I want to force that quarterback to beat me. I'm going to force them to run. I'm going to force them to pass, rather. I'm going to load the box, stop the run, and force them to pass to beat me. Now, I think the Raiders could probably be more successful because they have other options. You got to diversify. The Browns, though, you take away Amari Cooper, you got David Njoku, but not too many other weapons. Ford and Hunt. That's what the Steelers got to take away. You know Tomlin's aware of it. You know the Steelers are aware of it. Your boy Alex, give me your honest opinion. What would you think if DeMar Hamlin wins Comeback Player of the Year, even though he played a couple snaps? Is it deserved? 100%. 100%. The moment that DeMar Hamlin stepped on the field for that game last week, that Bills game, that Bills-Buffalo, the Bills-Broncos game, and he made a tackle, done. Sealed it, done. The dude was dead on the field. And when I say he was dead on the field, I mean he was dead on the field. And I want to put this in the proper context. If the NFL on primetime national television had a player die on the field, can you imagine what would have happened to this league? Can you imagine the repercussions? This wouldn't have been concussions. This wouldn't have been domestic abuse. This wouldn't have been drug use. This wouldn't have been gambling. This would have been the most serious thing to happen to any pro sport in maybe the last 30 years. This is big. So the fact that DeMar Hamlin not only survived, not only came back, he played an NFL down and he made a tackle, done. Seal it, signed, delivered. Wait for the award in your inbox or in your mailbox. No, he won it. It's over. It's done. Trace, Allen or Herbert this week? Ooh, tricky one. Really tricky. And the reason I say tricky is I don't like Josh Allen against the Jets. Josh Allen against the Jets is absolutely something to be concerned about. So frankly, I lean towards Herbert just barely. Zach Waken didn't do... By the way, that happened. Hockey, that happened because he got cut. I'm not talking about a dude collapsed, like... No, he got cut. So, by the way, and I actually think there's some legal ramifications going on that. And it wasn't the NHL. It wasn't in prime time. And it wasn't in under a... That was Monday Night Football. That was as big as it gets in this country. So, I don't want to diminish the death of the hockey player who just died overseas. By the way, hockey injuries like that happen every once in a while, where a player gets flipped or someone takes a skate to literally an artery, or to a vein rather. Very serious. I don't want to compare the two. Hockey's actually dealt with things like that before. The NFL, if they had a player die on Monday Night Football, national TV, don't forget, that game was as hyped a game. Bengals, Bills, number one seed in the AFC on the line. If he dies on the field, changes the sport for the next 20 years. Grateful it didn't happen, but that's my take on it. Appreciate you guys asking for my rants. I know you guys love the rants as much as I love giving them out. drop Christian Watson at this point. No, I think Christian Watson could have a good game this week. Aaron, Achane or Pollard, really tricky for me. I'll lean towards Pollard. I really like him, but tricky one. Wizard of Oz, really appreciate you. I know you'll resubscribe soon. Grateful that you watch us every day, Wizard of Oz. By the way, speaking of Wizard of Oz, we actually just put out a Wizard of Oz t-shirt. If you guys, I know you guys are like, Wizard of Oz t-shirt, what the hell is Butt Fumble Sports talking about? But we actually came up with some new t-shirts. If you guys are looking, Wizard of Oz t-shirt, you guys can see it on my screen right now if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. Check it out. It's Ozzie Smith in full flip mode. If you guys are looking for some new shirts, we just put a few new shirts together. We're going to be dropping some more of them. One is the Ozzie Smith flip. Another one that we just put out is the step over. It is the AI over tie loose step over. Really cool shirt. We just put it on the website today. Make sure you go to our website and go check it out. buttfumblesports.com. Go check out our new shirts. The step over shirt, the Wizard of Oz. We also have a few featuring, as you can see, the framed version of LeBron and D Wade's alley-oop. Some cool shirts. Make sure you guys go check those out today. Rob B, I'd start D-Hop. Rob B, I'd start D-Hop. I like Collins. D-Hop's got a great matchup, though. Toby, I'd go 49ers defense, Toby. I think I'd go 49ers. Close, though. You know what, Toby? I take it back. I'll go Browns. Toby, I'll go Browns. I trust the matchup against Pickett more. Sammy Cameron, start 3. Sammy Cameron, I'd start Lamb. I'd start Hollywood Brown, and I'd start Dell. Sammy Cameron, Lamb, Dell, and Brown. Bald and bored. What about Ayuk, Addison, Puka, Kirk, Sutton? Pick 3. Bald and bored, I'd go Ayuk, Kirk, and Sutton. Bald and bored, I'd go Ayuk, Kirk, and Sutton. Really appreciate you, Bald and bored. Garrett, pick 2. I'd go Rice, and I'll go James Cook just barely. Rice and Cook. Cook Rice. Start Dell or Watson this week. I appreciate you, Nate. I'd go with Watson, believe it or not. I actually think Watson's got too good a matchup against the Chargers not to play him this week. Ashley Owings, really tricky, but I'll go Kittle. Ashley Owings, I like Kittle's matchup more. I'd go Kittle. Carter, Garrett Wilson should start this week. Yep, I do like Garrett Wilson as a start. Brady, Javonte, Laporta, Kincaid. Brady, Laporta. Brady, I'd go Sam Laporta. Spire, DK, should I sell Jamar Chase for a guy like CeeDee Lamb? If you can get CeeDee Lamb right now for Jamar Chase, do that trade so fast, you're like a cartoon character running so fast the clothes just come right off you. Spire, DK, race to make that trade. If somehow someone is stupid enough to acquire Jamar Chase and give you CeeDee Lamb, do it. If you're in a dynasty league, you still may want to do it. That's how good a trade that is for you. Wizard of Oz, I'm having 2 difficult decisions this week. First, one is start Freeman or Spears. Tricky one. It might be Royce Freeman, but I don't really like either one. Diego is asking about Trey Young over on his assists. Let's go check out Trey Young on assists. By the way, don't worry, guys. I know I owe you guys a few more picks. We will give those out in just a second. So the over's the better play here. Over's a really strong play for Trey Young over on assists. This is cashed in 5 of his last 6 games, 7 of his last 10. If we look at it at home, this is cashed in 6 of his last 7 games, and he's facing a 76ers defense that allows a ton of assists to point guards. They are 29th in point guard assists allowed. I got to take Trey Young over on assists. I will add this to my picks so that after the show, I can throw a few more bets on my board. But Trey Young over 9.5 assists, I actually really do like that bet as well. Aaron, should I start Breece Hall, Kupp, or Javonte? I'd start Breece Hall barely. George play, I'd go Dell. George play, I'd go Dell. Donna, I'd go James Cook just barely. Donna Martinez, I'll go James Cook just barely, just because I know they're going to get Cook involved in the offense. Ty Chandler, a little bit more mystery there. Texas Tejano, do I think Jefferson's going to play this week? No, I actually think they're going to sit him out. By the way, There is not one piece of information I have to confirm that. I just think that they're going to be a bit more cautious with him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jefferson sits out one more week. Ryan, do I trade White for DK? No, hold on to Rachaad White. Alex, should I do Schultz for McBride? I already have 2 other Texans in my lineup. I'm okay with that to diversify a little bit. That said, I think Schultz is probably the better own than McBride. So if you want to ask for McBride plus something else, I certainly wouldn't oppose that idea. Ethan Ingram, I'd go Collins and Hall. Collins and Hall just barely over White, though I do like Rachaad White. I got A.J. Brown trade. Now I got CD and A.J. Brown. Cody Meyerson, know what we call that? We call that winning, sir. Nosebleed Fantasy. Who should I try to get for Chase? Do we have any hope of him being good? So the answer is there is some hope. You saw last night he still got a touchdown late in that game. So you could see Jamar Chase still get some garbage points. But if I could trade him, I would. Is Nico Collins right now a bad trade for Jamar Chase? Kind of an interesting idea, right? Never thought I'd say that. If you could get Waddle, that'd be a great deal. Devontae Smith. But you can hear now, I'm kind of treating like Jamar Chase is a wide receiver 2, which means T. Higgins is like a wide receiver 2 flex. Everyone kind of gets demoted a spot, I think. By the way, I'm saying this without seeing Browning for a full game. Maybe it's like a Josh Dobbs. Maybe you want to wait a week. But I know a lot of you guys have trade deadlines and need to make moves now if you do make them at all. Concerned Citizen, I'd go Ingram. Concerned Citizen, I'd go Ingram over Kincaid. Don't love Kincaid's matchup this week. Shexta, I'd go Brian Robinson over Devin Singletary. Brian Robinson over Singletary. I really like Robinson's matchup this week. Bang Bang Niner Gang just traded Fields for Cook. Who won the trade? I think James Cook, and the reason I say that is I'm not big on Justin Fields. You probably have other quarterbacks you can ride with since he's been on the IR. I think that James Cook is a good own right now. Drew, I haven't gone into the research on CeeDee Lamb yet. I'll do that tonight or tomorrow. Alex, should I start Hurts or Prescott this week? I'll start Jalen Hurts just barely. The reason for that, I could see it being a heavy run game for the Cowboys. I could see Dak Prescott not putting up the massive throwing stats he has the last few weeks. And I think if Hurts is going to be able to contend with the Chiefs, he probably will have a tush push in there at some point. So, Drew, between Hurts and Goff, I'd go Goff. Goff's one of my favorite quarterbacks this week. I'd go Goff just barely over Hurts. Suwap, Christian McCaffrey for CeeDee Lamb and Bijan. Fair trade? I wouldn't do it, but it is a fair trade. Bang Bang, I have Dak, but needed a running back. I understand. Bill R, I'd go Purdy. Bill R, I'd go Purdy. By the way, guys, I want to mention something to you guys. A lot of you guys are going to say to me, man, I really like Josh Dobbs, in part because the Denver Broncos have been such a bad pass defense statistically. Well, they're getting a whole lot better week by week. If it wasn't for that 70-point game against the Miami Dolphins, the Denver Broncos defense would probably be a top 12, top 14 defense in the league. So be careful. Some of those Denver Broncos stats are very skewed because of that 70-point game against the Dolphins. Are the Broncos really as bad statistically as the stats say? No, they're not. T. Melly, I'd go Tua. T. Melly, I'd go Tua. Jeff Moran, Kyler Murray, top 10 rest of season. He has the possibility of being it, but Jeff, that's almost more because the quarterbacks that are injured as opposed to Kyler Murray. Braden M, I traded Jamar Chase for JT and Waddle this week. I'm a lot happier now. Braden M, I liked the trade before. I like it even more now, obviously. Aaron Hart, I'd go Komet. Aaron Hart, I'd go Komet over Kincaid. Won't hear me say that too often this year, but Komet's the better matchup, has the better matchup rather against the Lions. I'd go Komet over Kincaid. Guys, I owe you guys a bunch of picks. I owe you guys like 5 picks right now. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you guys a bunch of picks. We're going to give you some NBA picks, player prop bets, game picks. We owe you guys, so we're going to drop a few picks on you guys to make sure that you guys are getting everything that I like tonight. First one that I'm going to give out, I'm going to take the Nuggets on the money line. You could also take the Nuggets -1. I think of being offered there. They're on the road in New Orleans, but I do like the Nuggets in that one. Nuggets on the money line or -1. Definitely like that play. Another one that I like, Clippers on the money line. You see a lot of money line plays with teams that maybe would be favored or teams that are kind of, they're the obvious pick. I don't have a problem with that. Maybe you want to put 2 or 3 together in a parlay. Don't do all of them. Don't put together like an 8-10 game parlay. Wouldn't encourage that. But a 2-3 leg parlay with, say, the Cavaliers, the Knicks and the Kings, the Cavaliers, the Bucks, and the Nuggets, some kind of combination of these groups. I think that's a good idea. Let me give out another pick for you guys. Celtics on the money line. Celtics on the money line. Wizard of Oz, I told my friend about you. You won him a lot of money recently. Wizard of Oz, I'm so happy to hear that. Make sure he joins us. If you guys haven't done so, share the channel. Let other sports fans in your life know that there's a place that talks sports every single day. Without ego, attitude, we're just here to give you information, good advice, and obviously chop it up about sports as much as possible. I hope you guys love listening to me talk sports, because that's what we do here at Butt Fumble Sports for the most part. But I also love having you guys be a part of the conversation, love having the engagement, so a big shout out to all of you guys who ask questions, who get involved. Big shout out to our moderators on TikTok. Thanks so much, guys, for helping me out. Just gave out Celtics on the money line. Celtics on the money line was the next one I gave out. They're going up north of the border to play the Raptors. Just love the matchup that the Celtics have against them. Think they match up really well. Think they're actually better suited with Holiday as opposed to Marcus Smart, so I love that play. Hernan, I'd go Addison. Hernan, I think I'd go Addison in that one. I'm going to give you guys 2 more player prop bets. We'll drop 2 more player prop bets for you guys to say thank you for everything. Another player prop bet that I'm going to take. This is actually one that was in the contention for my Sharps play of the day. If I didn't have a good Sharps play of the day on the money line, this would have been it. So everybody pay attention. Aaron Gordon over half a block. Aaron Gordon over half a block. This is one of my favorite bets of the night right now. Love this for him. The matchup, just a good play all the way around. The trends. Aaron Gordon over half a block. I'm going to give you guys one more player prop bet to say thank you for tonight. This one, Harrison Barnes over 10.5 points. If you bought it down to under, to like 9.5, that's fine. But Harrison Barnes over 10.5 points, really like that one as well. Here are all of the bets that I have given out during the show. They're up on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. We give out our picks every single day for free on the SHARPZ app. SHARPZ is a social media app for sports bettors. Every bet that I make shows up there. I place a bet on DraftKings. SHARPZ automatically aggregates it so you see every bet that I make every day. So if you ever want to see my bets, regardless of the sport, the type of bet, no matter what, they're available every day on the SHARPZ app. Diego Levine, under. I'm not going to dive into that one, Diego. I'm not going to go pick by pick on it. We're going to get to some fantasy advice for everybody. But love that you're asking the question. Want to be BFS certified. Levine, I'm not going to do the research right now on it, Diego. Sorry to break your heart on it. But we're going to stay to fantasy questions only because we have about 5 minutes left of the show. So we're actually going to do a rapid fire right now. Diego, if you want to DM me after the show, we could talk a little bit after that. But guys, we are going to do rapid fire right now. Rapid fire through your fantasy questions on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Rapid fire until the top of the hour. We're going to answer as many questions as we can. Ryan, I'm not going to answer open-ended questions right now. Ryan, I'm not going to answer open-ended questions. We're going to rapid fire as many questions as we can for the next 5 minutes, okay? I'm going to take a quick sip of water, and then we'll get started, okay? Now, here's the challenge I'm going to put to you guys. While I'm answering your question, challenge you guys to tap the like button. If you guys tap the like button, I'll keep going as long as we keep getting likes, okay? We'll start that rapid fire right after a sip. Okay. One more time. I'm going to rapid fire until I see no more likes coming up on TikTok. That'll be my cue to sign off. Other than that, we're going to rapid fire until that ends. You guys ready? You guys set? We're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Luis Martinez between Schultz, Hill, and McBride. I'd go with McBride. Schultz and McBride would be the 2. Majomes, drop KJ Osborne for Mitchell. Yes. Rec League MVP. I'd go Ridley. Rec League MVP. I'd go Ridley. Drew, I haven't gotten to that yet with CeeDee Lamb. Keegan, should I trade Jamar Chase and Cook for Saquon and Kirk? Yes. Keegan Gaspard, I would do that trade. By the way, Keegan, you asked for it. Boom. You just got the, I'm not going to let you block anybody, but you just got it. Boom. There you go. JC930. What do I think of Justin Jefferson? I think he's going to be out this week, but when he comes back, will actually have better value than I first expected. Drew, 7382. Start 1. Drop 1. I'd start Lawrence and I drop Fields. I'd start Lawrence and drop Fields, I think. New Jersey memes, start 3, tough. I'd start Singletary, Walker, and Ford. New Jersey memes, Walker, Singletary, and Ford. Miller, I'd go Kyler Murray. Miller, I'll go Kyler Murray just barely, though I don't love it. Corbin, should I trade Rashad White, Johnson, Hawkinson for Diggs, Boyd, and Schultz? Yes, Corbin, can you get anybody but Boyd? Don't like Boyd, love everything else about the trade. Mar, start Debo. Mar, start Debo. Ashton, I'd start, I don't love the trade, it's okay. I like it, I do like it actually, because I think the Giants are probably in tank mode. Grant Carl, rest of season, I'd go Lamar. Matthew Demers, I'd go Jones. Matthew Demers, I'd go Jones. Texas Tejano, stack Stroud and Schultz. You can this week, yes. Ed Killer, Henry Jacksonville, Montgomery, Chicago. Henry Jacksonville, I think. Henry Jacksonville. John, I'd go Brian Robinson Jr. Brian Robinson Jr. Frigid, Henry for Smitty straight up. Like it, don't love it. Trevor Carty, trade Ridley and Charbonnet for Puka. No, wouldn't do that deal. Cody Meyerson, who for the flex? Probably going to go with Kittle, unless Nico Collins doesn't play, in which case I'd go Brown, but for now I think I'd lean towards Kittle. Rapid fire, keep the likes coming. The moment we stop seeing the like hearts, we'll stop the show. Jake, trade Justin Jefferson, Waddle, Adams, and Addison for Amon-Ra, DJ Moore. Don't like it, actually. Wouldn't do the trade. Wouldn't do it. Super Pants, I'd go Nico Collins. Super Pants, I'd go Collins barely over Mostert. Ethan, I'd go Mostert and McLaurin. Ethan, I'd go Mostert and McLaurin. Wildlife 44, I'd go Brian Robinson Jr. Wild West 44. Wild West 44, I'd go Brian Robinson. Jason, Mostert, Robinson, Swift, Pollard, pick 2. Really tricky, but I'll go Robinson and Pollard. Robinson and Pollard, Jason. Raider Cholo, thoughts on the Athletics relocating to Vegas? Awful. Hate it. Obviously makes sense economically. Think that Oakland is just getting absolutely shellacked by the economics of sports right now. It is a travesty. There's no reason that the Oakland Athletics should be moving because they are rewarding an owner who's a jackass. The Oakland A's owner is one of the worst owners in sports. Now that Dan Snyder isn't an owner anymore, he might be the worst owner in sports. And you know what he just did? He just tanked for years at the expense of his fan base so he could upgrade economically to Las Vegas. A bad owner just pulled a bad move with his fan base and upgraded to a better economic position. That's what's wrong with sports right now. It's the fans pay, the fans come last, but the owners can upgrade to get more money out of a move or something else. Bullshit. Hate it. Think the Oakland Athletic fans should absolutely boycott for as long as possible. Silvano, should I trade Travis and Dell for Bijan and CeeDee Lamb? I'd rather have Kelsey and Dell. Kelsey and Dell. Tristan, should I start Justin Jefferson this week? Not sure if he's returning. I'm not either. I'm not big on him. Macy, I'd go Singletary. Macy, I'd go Singletary. Agorum, Saquon, Jacobs, Jones, Achan. Sit one. I'd probably sit Saquon, believe it or not, of the entire group. It's between Saquon and Jacobs, but close. Ed Killer, I'd go Tank Dell. Ed Killer, I'd go Tank Dell. Toby Corcoran, I'd go Nico. Toby, I'd go Nico. Ethan Ingram, I'd go Stroud. Ethan Ingram, I'd go Stroud. By the way, I repeat the name just to make sure you guys hear it. If we stop getting the likes, I'm going to stop the show. The moment the likes stop being up on the screen, that's going to be my cue. Oh, it just happened. It just happened. There were no more likes up there. So, guys, that is the end of our rapid fire. I thought we'd go a little bit longer, actually, but the tapping of the screen did stop. So, with that said, I am going to cut things off. Max, lies, bruh. Max Worley, just up to 5. I didn't even realize it had become 6 o'clock here on the East Coast. That is our show for everybody today. We have been live for 2 hours. We were live for an hour on YouTube. We've been live for an hour on TikTok. I have a date tonight with my girl, so will I be live later tonight? It depends how the date goes. Probably not. Probably not. I will admit, probably not a night for a subscriber-only show. However, if the date isn't a wonderful date and for some reason I decide to come on earlier, we will be on tonight. But that said, For all of those that are watching, we are live tomorrow at 10 a.m., everybody. We are live tomorrow at 10 a.m. So make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you guys are subscribers. Make sure you guys are with us every single day. We are live every single day across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button no matter the platform, and make sure you guys hit that follow button. We are live every day. Don't worry, I will be live for multiple times tomorrow. We will be live at 10 a.m. for about an hour and a half, 2 hours tomorrow. We will do a show tomorrow afternoon. We will do a show tomorrow night. Pluex, we will do a show tomorrow night exclusively for subscribers. So tomorrow we'll probably do 3 shows. 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and then probably a night show at around 10 p.m. That'll be exclusively for subscribers. If you guys want all of my bets, if you want to follow every bet that I make every day, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports on Instagram. I give away every bet that I make for free every day. So DM ButtFumble Sports on Instagram, name of my company, ButtFumble Sports, DM me, and you will get every bet that I make every day. Additionally, I mentioned this before, we have some new merch, some new shirts up on the website. Wizard of Oz is one of them. The Step Over with AI and Tai Lu is another. Go check out some of our shirts, some of our merchandise. Go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. Make sure you check out all of our merch and get yourself something today. Holiday season coming up. Get something for the sports fan in your world. With that said, I am so grateful for all of you guys being with us for the entirety of our show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be live tomorrow at 10 a.m., everybody. 10 a.m. we'll be live. 10 a.m. on the East Coast. So make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Hope you guys stay healthy. Hope you stay safe. Can't wait to talk to you guys either later tonight or tomorrow morning. Make sure you guys join us then. Until then, hope you have a wonderful evening. Have a good dinner. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everybody.